modern movies. That's terrible. Most of them. I'm always someone's like, "Oh, go see a movie," and I'll go, and then I'm like, "This is awful with CGI. Give me a guy in a werewolf mask riding a motorcycle."
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
Chris from La Chinga. Primal Forces is out. It's been out for about 3 weeks as we're talking. Weight off the shoulders, calm now, or are you always a chill, laid back dude? Like, if I would have spoken to you 3 weeks before the album came out, would I have a very similar Chris in front of me, or is that a big difference?
I think pretty similar. You know, I was excited to get it out. We're excited to get it out.
Right.
You know, the hard part was getting it out. But once it's all sent off and you're just waiting for the vinyl to press, and
Yeah.
we're already on to, making the next one.
You kind of allude to it, like, it's been it was long in the making, let's say, compared to, the start that you guys as a band had done. Is it as simple as, well, the whole world was put on hold and therefore everything was delayed, or is there something else that made you guys take a little bit more time?
It was obviously the delay, the 2 years there or whatever. But it was also like we wrote a bunch of songs and we didn't really dig them, and we recorded them, and we just scrapped it all and started again. And I think, and that was sort of like before COVID. We had it when I don't know when COVID was even now, but we were working on this stuff, and then it all kind of fell apart during COVID, and a tour fell apart, and everything stopped. Like for everybody. Yeah. And we just took our time and started again, and the new album's a real reflection of what we were kind of going through, what I think what a lot of people were going through, just the frustration of life, and just the whole world going bananas. So it was a very organic thing, and some of the stuff that we did that didn't come out, it's okay, maybe it'll come out, we'll see. But we were just so feeling what is on Primal Forces that it just felt good to, once we got the ball rolling, we're like, okay, I know people are gonna have to wait a little longer, but we were excited, wanted to give something real and honest that we loved. We've already started, working on some new stuff, and we're really excited about that. So we're hoping to kind of crank out a quick EP and put it out as fast as we can, because we've got some songs that we played on tour this summer that aren't on Primal Forces, that we were sort of auditioning for folks on the road, and we really like them, and they're kind of in a similar vein to Primal Forces. So see what happens.
All right. So let's dig a little deeper into this album. I guess you already said, this is really what we like ourselves, and the whole album kind of comes across as a love letter to high voltage rock and roll of the 70s, and different songs will inspire people to call out different influences, right? Which is cool to see. It's not all in the same vein, if you will. I mean, of course, it's all rock and roll, there's no doubt about that, but Bolt of Lightning makes me think more of Zeppelin than others. So Backs to the Wall for me is like, oh, there's some Priest in there, I feel. Stuff like that, right? So when you guys are writing these songs, given that each song, which is not easy to do in a rock and roll power trio, the variety that you do bring on this album, should I look at this as this is an album, it tells a story, or is this a little bit more a collection of songs that all make sense together?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's definitely a lyrical theme that ties them together. I think, there's definitely a connection, and there's some stories that are kind of interconnected in the songs. For the music, we like a lot of kinds of music. We're music crazy. We, late 60s to mid 80s, even I love the early 90s stuff too. So we're kind of all over the road, and it always to me it sounds like us. But there's little Easter eggs in there where it's like,
there are a lot.
To this, there's a reference to that, and there's some lyrical Easter eggs too. But it's it's definitely there's definitely a love letter to all the stuff we like. It's, one day I'll be listening to a new album, and then I'll listen to some prog rock, and I mean, we're all over the place. Our guitar player loves like 70s power pop music, and he loves Priest as like his favorite metal. So we're huge music fans, and it just kind of comes out and creeps. It's not it's never, I really write the riffs and stuff for our live show. Like, when we go to play, sometimes, like when we were on tour last summer, some of the shows we'd have to play for 2.5 hours. Like, they're just epically long shows. And there's sometimes I'm like, okay, they're rocking now, they're going fast, I need another fast song. What do we got? I'm like, we've been beating shit out of them for like 4 fast songs. Let's bring it down. Just I kind of weirdly write for live. I'll come up with a riff, and I'll picture, I'm like, what will this do to people? How can we do this? What's gonna get them off? What's gonna get them moving? Get their asses going? Sometimes, what can we do here? How can I get? We like to really grab the audience and shake them, and like get them out of their seats and get that exchange of energy going. As soon as that's happening, it's a good show.
If we look at Backs to the Wall alone, which is a wealth of Easter eggs, has any of your fans found all of them already? Because there's I don't think
anyone's found any of them. I listen to them, and I know what I meant, and and funnily enough, that song, like the vocal take, a good chunk of it is, there was no really written lyrics. It was just me just going out of my skull and just feeling it. There was a few, but our drummer produces our records, and when he's behind the thing, and I'll be like, I don't know what that meant. He's like, I don't fucking care. I loved it. And I'm like, So I love working with him, because if he's digging it, he'll let me know. If I'm sucking, he'll say, dude, this is awful. And we'll debate, argue over it, and just really try for a good performance. And I really like working with Jay, doing this with him, because he will push me in just strange, weird areas, and we'll try stuff, and so
for sure.
I don't think no one's mentioned any to me yet.
Okay. Although the sound is very varied, song to song, like you can't really put just one label on you guys, which is exciting, especially after you play 2.5 hours, which is almost your entire discography. There is still like a unifying nostalgia flavor there, right? And unashamed nostalgia, if you will. And you can almost look at the album as a bit of a soundtrack for a forgotten 80s B movie or something like that. From your artwork and some of the themes and what have you, Is it fair to assume that, we're talking a few days before Halloween, that in the band there's a couple of fans of, crappy horror movies, and I say that with love?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of B movies, biker movies, horror. I just love
Yeah,
garbage. My wife's always like, "Why are we watching this movie? It's terrible." And I'm like, "It's so good." It's
it's
like
supposed to be. Yeah,
I'm like, I love that stuff. Like movies like Werewolves on Wheels and
right, right.
all that good grindhouse stuff. Um, Tubi has a million of them. I got them all queued up, and after a gig, like when I get home and it's super late and I'm wired, like you just can't sleep after. I can't
Right.
sleep after it was a good show. I will go and like put Tubi on and watch, and yeah, and for sure I'll get ideas. I'll catch a little lyric. Some character will say
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
What was that? And write it down. So yeah, we love trashy cinema. I don't know how people watch modern movies. That's terrible. Most of them. I'm always someone's like, "Oh, go see a movie," and I'll go, and then I'm like, "This is awful with CGI. Give me a guy in a werewolf mask riding a motorcycle, and some
There we go.
rats."
The script for the next music video is already
Yeah,
in the
slasher
works.
movies, and
Yeah.
yeah, they don't. We're old, so we grew up on that stuff, and we still love that stuff. We're
Yeah.
really channeling our inner 14-year-old with this band.
You are taking this album and just the whole show and your teenage enthusiasm on the road. You guys really announced already. I think it's like 8 or 9 shows in the upcoming months, all Western Canada.
Yeah.
So in the next few months, I think you've got shows planned until mid-February or something like that. But
Yeah.
what are you guys working on beyond that? Like, I'm calling you from Toronto. When am I going to get to see you?
We are trying to come out there in the spring. We've been chatting with a little promotions guy out there about coming. And we would love to. It's been too long since I've been to Toronto, and I've played in a whole bunch of other bands. We used to always go to Montreal and play at the Horseshoe or up at Foufon Electrique and all those great places. So it's definitely going to happen. We're hoping in May, for a little trip, see some old pals, and
Yeah.
maybe somebody was mentioning maybe play the Bovine Sex Club. So I don't know if that's a good venue.
That's
But
I think that is I mean, the term legendary is used
yeah,
in a very flexible way in this world. But I would say it is a quite legendary place. It's small. It's way smaller than a Horseshoe, but it's like the right grimy spot. And just to clarify, it is a music venue. It is not what the name suggests it is.
yeah.
I don't
Oh, I
know if
went
that
there
now
a long,
is
long
worse
time
or.
ago. Yeah,
So no, I think that would be
cool.
that would be a great sweaty show, because that's a sweaty venue. The music itself is fun, and all the stuff you do around it with the artwork and what have you. It's clear there's just a lot of fun and passion that goes into that. Some of the songs tell darker stories as well. And you mentioned it, like, it was fueled by our own experiences in the pandemic and having to put everything on hold. It's a question I like to ask people that have music that is at the same time can be dark from a theme, but so danceable and fun. And is it like at times when you're like playing and singing songs and so on, weird to see like you're kind of talking about some dark shit, but everybody's having a big smile on their face and having a good time? Like, do you sometimes feel like, hey, are you guys listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. I definitely am like, oh, this is strange. This isn't a really pleasant subject, but a lot of people don't always listen to the lyrics. And if they're getting off on it, that's okay. yeah, I'm just stoked if anybody wants to get out of their ass and get out of their seat and shake their ass. The I really try to, I don't know, whatever's on my mind that day, I kind of do the lyrics sort of as I go into the studio, and it's whatever's on my mind. It drives Jay crazy. He's always like, you should have them ready to go and it's all prepped, but I just don't work that way. I've tried it and it just sucks. It's just got to be really whatever's coming out, and it's definitely, we definitely sing about the universal, love, sex, and death. That's all those things intermingled, and there's a lot of those themes in the record, and there's some pissed off emotions on the record that maybe weren't on the earlier ones. But yeah, it's good on you, Jasper, for picking that up. It's definitely there's definitely some bleak thoughts there.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, if the whole world's gonna go up in flames, may as well dance, may as well rock.
If you were saying that, sometimes you just come to the studio and you just spew out words that for you make sense. Does that become a challenge to, like, after the fact, figuring out, like, okay, what were the lyrics and remembering them? Or do you just like go with the flow on stage as well?
I try not to go with the flow. I like to learn them, I like to know them. When I'm in the studio, I'll have a little book of ideas and references, so they will get jotted down. They just might be all over the place, and then it'll come together. And then when it gets played back, then I'll start to learn about. When I go to see a band, I want the guitar. When it's the solo of one of my favorite songs, I want that guitar player to play the solo. Don't play something different, and I want to sing. Right. This is my lyric. I'm so excited. So occasionally I'll screw up, but I like to try to get them. Some of our songs, whatever. But there's some songs that I'm really proud of the lyrics. Like I look at them, yeah, that's pretty good. Not to blow my own horn, but I'll be like, oh, that worked out. Yeah, others maybe much, but whatever. We try to have a good time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll all have a good time when we see you guys play those shows. I hope I am able to catch one of them, but I will also keep my fingers crossed and my eyes open for anything you guys will announce for beyond February, and hope to see you guys on a stage. Chris, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And I wish you guys all the best with the continued release cycle of this album.
Thank you so much, Jasper. Thanks for a great interview, man. Killer questions.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.